Okay, guys, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Now, fasten your seatbelts. Here we go. All right, guys, I'm back. And so are you, I see. And it is Friday, November 15th, and it's 10:47 p.m. Eastern Time. Now, I apologize to you, but this is going to be a short video because that sinus infection that I had that I took antibiotics for, well, as soon as I stopped the antibiotics, it came back full blown. So I am not feeling well, running a fever. So I am going to do the two Q drops for yesterday and today, and I'm going to call it quits for today. I'm going to rest my voice, go to bed, and hopefully I will be up to doing 2 shows tomorrow, I hope. So anyway, let's just jump right into it. I do have a couple people to thank. Norma Susan Smith, I love that name, it just rolls off the tongue. Norma Susan Smith and Anon, they are coffee donors. And also I picked up a new Patreon member, BJ Anderson. So thank you guys. I did get a couple pieces of snail mail today, but I left them in my car and it's really cold out and snowing. So I'm going to leave them in the car until it warms up tomorrow. I'll go out and get them and I will thank those people on my next video. So let's just jump right into the post from Q from November 14th. Of course, that was last night after I had posted I think I did 2 videos yesterday, didn't I? I don't know. Sometimes it just all goes in together. But anyway, I didn't get to this. There was only one post yesterday, so we're going to go over that, and then we're going to go right into today's post. So this will contain the Q drop from the 14th and today the 15th. Now the 15th isn't over yet, so Q could still post, but I did check right before I started to record to make sure that I was up to date, and I am. So if he continues to post later after I have uploaded this, then I will bring those to you tomorrow along with any new things that he may post. So let's get started. Now, this is from yesterday, and there's a lot to this. Actually, it took me a long time of looking at this before it started making sense to me. Now, this says Australia, Italy, UK, co-op, DOJ, brackets, bar, Durham, classified 1 to 4, bracket rather. So what this is saying right here is that Australia, Italy, and the UK cooperated with the DOJ, which included Barr, Durham, and 4 others whose names remain classified. And that is exactly what this right here is saying and telling us. Then we come to the next line down, and Q says human intelligence, signal intelligence, etc. Meaning Australia, Italy, and UK that cooperated with the DOJ, they provided to them human intelligence and signal intelligence. Now, the next says non-Five Eye official channel, and then square bracket, U.S. senior persons require, given sensitive nature of target, presidential nominees, POTUS plus Cruz, and at that time, both the current president was just a nominee at that point, a presidential nominee, as was Cruz. So because they wanted to target those two, it was pretty sensitive. It was sensitive in nature because of who they wanted to target. So what this is saying, what Q is saying, Ukraine was used as an official channel for the targeting of POTUS, who was then a presidential nominee, along with Senator Cruz and 4 other people whose names remain classified. So that is what we have with that line. And then who gave the orders? Ultimately, it came from Obama. Who signed? Obama signed, and it was overseen by Brennan. So Obama was at the top, and this whole collection of data, spy, all that was overseen by Brennan, but ordered by Obama. Was it papered per normal national security? No. No, it was not. Communications to, from, foreign, and domestic? Yes, they targeted communications to and from both foreign and domestic. They were targeting POTUS, but really they were because of the umbrella, they could target 2 and 3 people out from him. So, and not just POTUS, they were actually spying on members of his campaign and so forth, because that way they could, because POTUS was the target, but they did it through, other members of the administration, like Carter Page and so forth, because then they could still collect data on POTUS. So, F2F 1 to 4 U.S. persons initiate scope memo. What Q is saying here is there was a face-to-face meeting with 1 to 4 U.S. persons to initiate the scope of the Mueller probe. Now, he's not telling us who those are, but in the line below, I think he is giving us at least a few of those 1 to 4. And what he's saying next is U.S. Ambassador 1 and 2, NSA unmask request. So what he's saying here is there's a face-to-face meeting with 1 to 4 U.S. persons to initiate the scope. What was going to be the scope of the Mueller probe? That's what they met to discuss. Well, who met? Well, it says U.S. Ambassador 1 and 2. Now, who's that? Well, Samantha Power, she was the U.S. Ambassador to the UN, and Ambassador Yovanovitch, who was the U.S. Ambassador to Ukraine. Both of them made an unmasking request to the NSA. Now, an unmasking request is basically, I believe, this is my understanding, however limited, that an unmasking request is, they're collecting data all the time. All the time. They're collecting data on you and me and everybody else. It's just being collected. But unless there is a request to unmask that, unless they say there's a reason for us to want to know information about so-and-so, it becomes unmasked, and they are able to obtain that because it's a matter of national security. So if it's a matter of national security and they think that you are a threat to national security, they can request for it to be unmasked, and they can see all that hidden data, basically. All right, that is my understanding. If I am not correct, or if one of you can make it any clearer, please do so in the comments below. Now, so they made the unmasking request to the NSA. The NSA fulfilled that request and sent it back to the U.S. ambassadors 1 and 2. So Samantha Power and Ambassador Yovanovitch got it, plus Australia, Italy, and the UK. So from the NSA, the information went back to the 2 ambassadors and was used by Italy, Australia, and the UK to spy. Special order per director classified 1 to 9 authorized unmask per U.S. ambassador. Now, so this was a special order per the director. And it, I think that it's saying classified 1 to 9. There was 9 people that were spied, and it was authorized. This unmasking was authorized per the U.S. ambassador. Each unmasking request requires approval. It requires a signature, a key. CIA, domestic, assist with rogue FBI to avoid U.S. law, non-op, domestic. So the CIA, they domestically assisted the rogue FBI to collect on U.S., to avoid U.S. law, They colluded with the rogue FBI because, of course, you're not supposed to be spying domestically. That's where Five Eyes come in. We all spy on one another. And, you know, if I'm a Canadian and Canada wants to spy on me, they can ask the United States or whoever to assist, and the US or whatever will comply, according to Five Eyes, and give them any information that they've collected on me. All right. Not that why would anybody want to spy on me, but anyway. CIA, human intelligence, domestic placement, Trump campaign, 1 to 3 jumps, primary target. We've talked about that before. The umbrella policy, they're allowed to, go 3 jumps out or 3 whatever out. And it says, T, White House spy insertion, national security, C, personal advisors, cabinet. Now, what Q is saying here, I believe, is that the spy inserted into the Trump campaign worked for the National Security Council under National Security Advisor McMaster. Now, who is that? Who is that? Who's Q talking about? EC. You know, the caramel guy. Epic Caramel. Let's call him that. Yeah, that was suggested to me by, the funny guy. You know who he is. The guy that makes everybody laugh in the comments. Dylan, why can't I just think of it? I know I can see the little icon he uses and everything. He's hysterical. But anyway, that's who suggested that. So that's who he is. It's Epic Caramel. So the now infamous WB, yes, that's who he's talking about. So the CIA, human intelligence, domestic placement, placed this spy domestically within the Trump campaign. And he was a White House spy insertion, national security. It was, he worked for the National Security Council under National Security Advisor McMaster, and he was put in there to spy. Once a spy, always a spy. All right. CIA organized under DNI. Yes, this was all organized under Clapper. Yes, it was. Excuse me. Not exactly sure what he means by 2010 to 2017, Clapper, bulk, unless he's talking about Clapper, gathered bulk information from 2010 to 2017. And then it says 2017 to 2019, Coates, he was a sleepover to prevent Black Ops release of incriminating documents. So this is what this is saying, what Q is saying. Coates was a sleeper agent of the deep state whose purpose was to release documents that would allegedly incriminate POTUS. These documents were prepared under the directorship of Clapper of the DNI. Yeah, so this is interesting, and I've got this. Saw everything, alleged whistleblower, Epic Caramel, had extensive access in Trump White House. Well, you don't say. Yes, I do say. So, Epic Caramel, the alleged Ukraine whistleblower, was long suspected of deliberately attempting to damage President Trump's foreign policy from the inside and had access to policy information far beyond his regional expertise, according to former National Security Council officials. Caramel, 33, a career CIA analyst, was Ukraine director on the NSC toward the end of the Obama administration and stayed there during the first few months of the Trump administration when he was acting senior director for European and Russian affairs and then special assistant to Lieutenant General H.R. McMaster, who was Trump's national security advisor until he left the White House in the summer of 2017. Now, this is below here. This is from Sun Q2, who also goes by, I can't remember. Excuse me. I'm going to have to drink something to avoid coughing. And I also wanted to mention that someone had mentioned putting a foam under the microphone to maybe cut down on some of the reverberations and my tapping and so forth. So if you notice an improvement, let me know, because I did get a nice thick piece of foam and I hope it works. Okay, so let's read this because it's a very good explanation. Q explaining how Italy, UK, and Australia coordinated with Barr and Durham to provide intel collected via data and human intel about the traitors in US government who used Ukraine to spy on Donald Trump and Ted Cruz during 2016 primary election. We know who gave orders to sign off. Hussein. 4 senior members involved in this spying operation, likely Powers and Brennan, since Ukraine, probably ambassador as well, is ambassador requested NSA unmask the targets of FISA, Carter Page, George Papadopoulos. That's right, I said George Papadopoulos. NSA would have informed at least 4 of these members had face-to-face meeting to initiate the scope memo. DNI director at time, Clapper, authorizes unmasking domestic operations of CIA. Brennan and people like Nellie Orr assisted senior level directors at FBI like McCabe, Presap, and Strzok. CIA placed agents in Trump campaign as known. CIA also placed agents via National Security Advisor McMaster at the time. CIA used guys like Carter Page to set up FISA warrant and then perform umbrella collection of communications with primary targets being personal advisors to Trump and cabinet members. Rogue FBI and DOJ falsified FISA warrants and used to spy on targets placed by CIA and then collected their communications between guys like Page and communications he would have with advisors to president or cabinet. This would, in their mind, give them plausible deniability that they were not directly spying on POTUS, but on parties removed from POTUS by 2 or 3 individuals. Coates was a sleeper agent of Deep State whose purpose was to ultimately release documents that would allegedly incriminate the president. These documents and this entire construct was prepared under Clapper's directorship at the DNI. Coates acted loyal to Trump, but was buying time to oversee the release of all documents and illegally collected data from fraudulent spy operations carried out against POTUS. All of this was signed off by Hussein and overseen by Brennan. Brennan and Hussein were not planning on UK, Australia turning on them and turning over all Five Eyes data collected to POTUS. POTUS and the U.S. military had all the leverage. NSA and U.S. military and POTUS were 10 steps ahead and conducted counter-intel strikes against Coates and rogue FBI and DOJ. So that is the entire post for yesterday, November 14th, and now we are going to move into the post from today, November 15th. So let's have at it. All right, and this is the first one, not too difficult to decode by any stretch, and Q says, what advantages might exist when you know the other side's playbook? Enjoy the show, Q. So what is Q letting us know here? He's letting us know that they know the other side's playbook, which gives them full advantage. Because when you know what somebody else is going to do, it's easy to avoid their traps. And it's also much easier to set a trap of your own. So let's look at the link that he's provided for us here, and let's look at where it leads. And lo and behold, it leads here. Let me make this a little bit bigger. Be bigger. And it was. I feel a cat burrowing into under this chair, the cats have made a hole that they like to climb up in, and I've fixed it. I don't know how many times, but they still get up in there. All right, so the link leads to this page, Merriam-Webster, and the definition of trap. Now, do we think that they're using, that Q is using trap as a noun? I don't think so, because a trap, of course, is used as a noun, is a device for taking game or other animals, especially one that holds by springing shut suddenly, or a football play in which a defensive player is allowed to cross the line of scrimmage and then is blocked from the side while the ball carrier advances through the spot vacated by the defensive player. Now, if you understand that, more power to you. I don't understand football. I'm just saying I don't. So I have no idea what that means. But, I don't necessarily think it was meant to be a noun. I think it was meant to be a verb, to trap, not the device, the trap, which would be a noun, but the verb, an action word meaning trap. And if Q means it that way, it says to catch or take in, or as if in a trap, entrap, to place a restricted position, to confine. Trapped in the burning wreck would be an example. 2, to provide or set a place with traps. So if you are setting traps, you are trapping, right? Verb. To stop, hold. These mountains trap rains and fogs generated over the ocean. B, to separate out something such as water from steam. To catch something such as a baseball immediately after a bounce. To block out a defensive football player by meaning of a trap. To stop and gain control of a soccer ball with part of the body other than the hands or arms. To engage in trapping animals, to make a defensive trap in basketball. These would be intransitive verbs. So, and here we have verb 2, to adorn with, or if with trappings. I don't think that that is what he's wanting to allude to. I believe that he is talking about trap as in verb, to trap, entrap. And of course, we know that the Democrats have set a trap for POTUS, but POTUS knows the playbook. So the trap that they have set for him is the same trap they're going to fall into. I can assure you of that. So to me, I like this post by Q. Well, I like all the posts by Q, but I especially like this one. So yes, they have all the advantages. POTUS and his team have all the advantages because they know the playbook. They don't know he knows the playbook, but he does. So Q is just saying, enjoy the show. All right, that's exactly what I'm going to do. And it says, if you know what the enemy is going to do, it is easy to avoid their trap and set one of your own. Pretty obvious to me. Now, let's go on to the next, and it would be 3597. Again, posted today. And Q is giving us a link, and we're going to take a look at that presently. But let's go down here. Do you believe in coincidences? Well, Q's asked us that so many times, and of course the answer is no, because he said when it comes to this, there are no coincidences. Mathematically impossible. Date public became aware. Date anons became aware. Reconcile. Do you think we are targeted and attacked by the largest media companies in the world because we're a LARP? Logical thinking. Q. So let's go to the link, which is this. I've cut it out below to save us a little bit of time. And let's see it. Let me try to make this a little bit bigger for you tiny phone people. I love you tiny phone people. Don't think I'm making fun of you. I might be making fun of your tiny phones, but I'm definitely not making fun of you. All right. But you know what? I'm not even making fun of your tiny phone, because if that's what you have to watch this on, then great. More power to you. It's better than not being able to watch at all. So there you are. And there you go. Okay, so now this was placed, and this was the whole graphic that was uploaded, and it has a post from, well, this is actually from 11/13/19, so just a couple days ago, and we remember this, we should, unless our memories are very short, and it says it had the July 8th, 2019, pointing us to a post from July 8th, 2019, and it said surveillance of Sarah Carter and John Solomon terminated. Q. And I'm not going to read the rest of it because we have gone over that and already in the past. But you come down here. Stop picking that. Hang on, excuse me. It's time for a cat intervention with the infamous Acme Cat. Be gone. Go on. Oh, the poor thing. It just kind of looks so pathetic. It like backs up from it and then just looks so pathetic. It makes me feel like a really mean person. Okay, let's go on. Poor little thing. Okay, so July 8th, here we have this from July 8th saying the same thing. Surveillance of Sarah Carter and John Solomon terminated. Sleep well, Q. Now, we knew July. It's just coming to light now. And here are, this is from Tom Fitton. Get out of there. Excuse me. Acme Cat, be gone. I'm not going to have any furniture left. All right. Coup update from Tom Fitton. List of those allegedly targeted, monitored by ousted Obama holdover. And let's see, because some of it's being cut off. Okay. List of those allegedly targeted for illegal monitoring by ousted Obama holdover ambassador to Ukraine. So these are the people that were allegedly targeted and were being illegally monitored and surveilled. Jack Posobiec, Donald Trump Jr., Ingram Angle, Sean Hannity, McFaul, Dan Bongino, Real Saavedra, Rudy Giuliani, Seb Gorka, John Solomon reports, Lou Dobbs, Pamela Geller, Sarah Carter, D.C. So, wait a minute. This was November 15th. Wow. And when did we know? You know, Q followers. We knew in July. That's right. July. So, do you believe in coincidence? No. No, I don't. So let's go back up here, and this makes sense now. Come on over here. There we go. And do you believe in coincidences? No. Mathematically impossible? Yes. Because how on earth would Q know? If it was a LARP. You know, some pimply guy in his mother's basement. How would he have known? Impossible. It's impossible. Date public became aware just recently. Date Anons became aware July 8th. Reconcile. You can't reconcile that. Either Q knew or it was just a really lucky guess, but what are the odds of that? Do you think we are being targeted and attacked by the largest media companies in the world because we're a LARP? Of course not. Logical thinking. Q. And I think some of this stuff, it is going back towards it. He's tying in stuff from the past because there are new people coming in and they can look at that and go, gee, yeah, that can't be possible. How did he know? How did he know if it's just a conspiracy? All right. Now we're moving on. And here is the next one. And we have another link, and it says, Whistleblower traps. Whistleblower traps. March 4th, 2018. Now, he's pointing us back to a link from, or to a post from the 4th of March, 2018. Trap, keyword, select, provided, whole or parts, break, /break, you have more than you know. Future proves past. Q. What's he talking about? We're going to look and see. Now, this is, and the link that he led us to is actually to this, the Q post from 4th of March 2018, Operation Fiddler and Russia linked. And he says, expand your thinking. Who leaked Vault 7 to WikiLeaks? Who returned fire? Operation name, Fiddler, at Snowden. Mission 1, infiltrate. Mission 2, centralize. Mission 3, secure. Mission 4, expose to harm. Date, White House interference. White House directive. Mission 5, Russia link. 2013 timeline of events, 1/17/14. Think, learn. Mission 6, Fiddler, Ghost, Prime. Mission 7, classified. Mission 8, whistleblower traps. Jobs C to 3567K. Mission 9, censorship, classify plus relay, Q. So, now, this is interesting because he's telling us about whistleblower traps. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, I had difficulty with this to really understand what Q was saying here. So I looked at what a few other people were saying, and some of them I was like, no, I don't think so. No. And then I went to a tried and true because I do trust his decodes, SunQ2, and this is what he said. Now, I'm not saying that this is the interpretation, but I'm giving you an interpretation other than mine because I don't have one. I hope that makes sense to y'all. New Q, whistleblower traps. Purpose of allowing impeachment was to draw out fake whistleblowers. And of course, this is the post from today, whistleblower traps. Trap, keyword, select, provided, whole or parts, break, you have more than you know. And then of course he's taking us back to this one that we just looked at, Operation Fiddler and Russia link, where he said that the let me see, what did it say up here? It said whistleblower traps, jobs C to 3567K. Now, I'm not saying that either one of us have this 100% correct because I don't, well, first of all, I don't have it correct because I don't have an interpretation of it. I just don't know exactly what he's saying. Now, does SunQ2 have the interpretation? Maybe in part. I don't believe either one of us has the whole thing. I just don't. It just does not seem like it's been interpreted to me. But he is saying that the whistleblower traps, purpose of allowing impeachment was to draw out fake whistleblowers. Now, you know, Q started this off with talking about traps. So I think they have set a trap for him, but I think that the trap really is the whistleblower. I think that is a trap, that this is going to end up coming and biting them in the hinder parts hard, leaving marks. Ooh, that's going to hurt. Yeah, really. So that is what I think. For better, for worse, that's what I think. So, yeah. So, and it says, this is another, this is something interesting. It's not really in line with the Q post, but it is in line with something that happened today. President Trump was interviewed by Dan Bongino, and love Dan Bongino, and of course, love the president too. So, I mean, it was awesome. Anyway, Sun Q2 responding to Dan Bongino, who stated, "From my interview with President Trump today, if Schiff didn't have immunity, he'd be in jail." Now, I have listened to the interview, and Trump did say exactly that. If Schiff didn't have immunity, he'd be in jail. Now, here's the interesting thing from Sun Q2, and I think he's 100% correct on this. This may be a big hint from POTUS what's going to happen to Schiff. Why does he have immunity? Members are privileged from arrest during attendance in session, but this doesn't apply to charges or felony or treason. Will Schiff be arrested during congressional recess beginning on 12/23? That's a good question, a very good question. And why did Trump say that? That if Schiff didn't have immunity, he'd be in jail. He should be in jail for what he did. He made up a conversation that never happened between the president and Vladimir Zelensky. That conversation that he got up in Congress and read never happened. He said, oh, it's the essence of what was said. Not even close. He made most of that up. Trump never said anything close to that. Not even remotely close to that. So, and I don't think that they were expecting Trump to release that transcript. I really don't. I think that caught them a little off guard. So, yeah, he deserves to be in jail. No question about that. So, now, I do have some news to go over, but again, I'm trying to save my voice and kind of pace myself because I don't want to get so down. I mean, I've got another round of antibiotics to take, which I hate. Everyone in this area has this horrible, horrible bacterial sinus infection. And it's like everyone, and it will not go away. It's horrible, and it lays you out for the count. Like the fatigue with this is unbelievable. So I believe that that's coming from the sky, and I think you know what I mean by that, because it's just too much of a coincidence that everyone around here has it, and everyone has the exact same symptoms. Little odd to me. Anyway, and it's not viral, it's bacterial. So where did we all get this bacterial infection? Everyone in this area. Little odd to me. So anyway, I do want to take care of this so that I don't get completely down for the count. So I think I'm going to call it a night, and I am going to try to bring you whatever Q posts there are tomorrow, and also the news, because I do have quite a bit of news stuff to bring you, and I'd like to bring it to you, but I just don't think I'm going to hold out for it. So I'm going to call it a night there, and I do apologize, but I did want to get these Q posts to you because I know that many of you are looking for them. So that is it, and I hope that you guys have a wonderful night. Stay safe, sleep well, and I will see you tomorrow. And of course, everyone knows that Epstein didn't kill himself. Good night.